16, turn me up.
And just like that, we're back. Views from Section 400. Matt, Jack, and Brian bring you along for the ride in this edition of the podcast every week. Final Four preview, obviously, on the cards today. We'll get into that whole rundown of the madness that's going to occur on Saturday, as well as the national championship on Monday, which we have a little special surprise for you guys. So stick around till about midway through the show. We'll drop what's going to happen at the national championship. So stay tuned for that. And then we'll jump into everything else around the world of sports, NFL, MLB, which is in full swing, games every day, all day. It's awesome. I love the MLB season. But yeah, jumping in to all the sports. Like I said, it's Views from Section 400. Hang out, chill out. It's uninterrupted sports conversation for the entire show. We'll jump right into it with some winners and losers of the week. I know it's everybody's favorite. Usually like to start with Brian because he's in a very good mood, but he doesn't look like he's in too much of a good mood tonight. So we'll actually start with Jack.
Brian clearly didn't win the week because he's been a freaking grump today. But
Really?
I am happy to bring you a winner of the week, and you're going to love this, especially Matt. Sort of a two-part here. 76ers get Joel Embiid back, beat OKC. They were without Shea. To be fair, Sixers were missing Maxey, but a great game. Embiid comes back, 0 for 3 from 3, so he'll get his stride back there, but he went 12 from 12. 12, 4, 12 from the line. Pretty dang impressive. Big man can shoot it from the stripe. But the winner the winner is Joel Embiid, specifically in the eyes of the media. Late in the game, went up for a layup, got fouled, took 5, 6, 7 seconds to get up to go to the free throw line to shoot his free throws. Anyone who knows basketball knows that he was laying down there because he's exhausted. It's the end of the game. He wants a few extra seconds on the ground before he goes to get up and shoot his free throws. It's just a smart veteran play. I see all over the media today, Joel Embiid, what a warrior, giving it his all. He's exhausted. He's playing first game off the injury. He's still hurt, down on the ground, but he's getting back up and making his free throws. I'm just like, the media, they'll spin a story however they want. And, flattering at least this time for Joel Embiid. But, Matt, tell me about the Sixers, man. Get Embiid back, beat our OKC Thunder. How are you feeling about them right now?
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, that's the reason why he got the name free throw merchant is because he's lights out from the free throw line. But, hey, if you're getting fouled, you go there and you make your free throws. So I love that they call him that because it's still points that count. And I've never been so down, out, on one leg. I'm got my crutches on, injured, you name it. And the Sixers just drag me back in, man. They start dropping Embiid memes on Instagram and all their socials. And I'm locked back in. The Sixers are going to make noise. Embiid has never had a support cast like this. And you'll say, oh, well, he had Simmons or, oh, well, he had Harden. And that Raptors team that they lost to in Game 7 was the closest or the best team I think they had. But they got Maxey in his prime who supports Embiid. Embiid has the role players. I've never been more locked in, more delusional on the Sixers than I am right now. And that's because he came back at the right time. He might be a little sore, he might be a little injured, but he's not tired from a long season. He's been out since January. That's 2 months to rest up, get healthy. They're limping their way to the playoffs, but hey, look, Adam Silver extended the playoffs, and now they have the play-in game. So absolute nonsense teams get a shot. The Sixers aren't a nonsense team. They're going to be severely underseeded when they do get into the playoffs. If I'm the Celtics, I do not want to play the Sixers in the first round because even if you win, it's going 7 games. I think the Sixers have a great shot. They're going to be that not unknown, but just team nobody's like, oh my gosh, how are they doing it? 7, 8 seed. Like I said, can't wait. I'm delusional, but I don't care. I am so back in on the Sixers, especially because of Embiid.
Matt, you're talking about this like there's a committee that's going to seed them as a 7 or 8 seed and that they're going to be a Cinderella team making a run. They're going to be seeded where they finish with the record in the regular season. It's not like there's the committee that's going to underseed them like they did a NC State this year.
Correct, but you can admit that if they are a 7 or 8 seed and they have Embiid back, that is not an accurate representation of them. Them should be a 7 or 8 seed. They should really be like a 3 through 5 seed, which is why I'm saying they're going to be underseeded. Now, obviously, there's no committee. It's what your record says you are, but they also didn't have Embiid for all those games that kind of sculpted the standings into what it is. So
the issue there is, and you brought it up, they might have to play the Boston Celtics in the first round. And I don't know if
the Celtics, I don't want that matchup in the first round. You're nuts if you're saying I want to play the Sixers in the first round.
How many years has it been now where the Celtics have knocked out the Sixers in the playoffs? It happens like every year.
Okay, great. The Celtics are going to be banged up after that. They're going to be limping out of that first round. That is not a game. That is not a matchup you want for the first round, even if you win.
Yes. Yeah, you're right on that front. I'd much rather play like the Hawks coming out
Exactly.
of the play.
You want to go and have a dogfight series with the Sixers in the first round and only get to the second round? Like that, like the Celtics Sixers in the first round is a potential Eastern Conference Finals matchup. Obviously, the Sixers haven't gotten there, but that's what it could be. And you got to play in the first round. Yeah, great. The Sixers might not win, but if I'm the Celtics, I don't want to play that. But either way, I'm delusional. I'm so back on the Sixers.
Hopefully no more invisible boatmobiles hit your players.
We'll see what happens, but
all right. Well, let's move on to my loser of the week.
Yeah, dude, who you got for lose? Sorry, I mean, dude, you want to get me fired up? You want to get me going about delusional and Sixers? I'm back on the Sixers, so we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So my loser of the week is obviously Matt. No, I'm kidding. But my loser of the week is actually going to be myself, Jaguar fans, Tennessee Titan fans, and Colts fans, because the Texans are loading. They're loading the fuck up. They got exactly what the Jags should have had 3 years ago when Trevor Lawrence came in. If we had Doug Peterson, not Urban Meyer at that time, and we actually got to see Trevor's potential in year one, we would have been able to maximize his rookie contract, and that's exactly what you're seeing with the Texans right now. They just traded for Stefon Diggs. They've got Tank Dell, Nico Collins, two guys that were there last year that really elevated the offense, re-signed Dalton Schultz to a contract, loaded up on the offensive line, signed Joe Mixon in the backfield, a veteran running back who's going to keep Stroud safe. I mean, they're loaded on offense, and it's going to be a tough time for the Jags and the rest of the AFC South and the rest of the league, honestly. Stroud's only going to get better. This is one of the youngest teams in the NFL, and they're only going to get better. It's getting scary. It is.
Yeah, after that trade happened, the Texans went from 25-1 to win the Super Bowl to 15-1. So, I mean, Vegas is believing in them. And CJ Stroud is 11-1 to win the MVP. But
wow.
The Texans are loaded, and the Bills are left with Khalil Shakur, Curtis Samuel, Justin Shorter, a 5th-round pick, and whoever they draft in that wide receiver room.
They're going to need to make moves. I don't know if their solution is to go get Ayuk. I don't know if it's to get some receiver in the draft. It's not like they have a top 10 pick, you know. They're not getting a Marvin Harrison or a Neighbors. They're going to have to trade up for that. I don't know what their plan is, but Josh Allen has nobody to throw to right now.
Well, they've been completely gutted. Absolutely gutted on both sides of the ball. But speaking of the Texans, I think I said there's got to be a clip out there of me saying this a month or so ago. I said they got to go out and get a number one receiver. You guys laughed at me because you're like, well, Tank Dell this and Nico Collins that. Go back and find the clip. I know it's out there. And this is the exact move I said they needed to make. And they went and did it. They got the elite top receiver for CJ Stroud, and it's going to really take that offense to the next level. That, oh, by the way, already CJ was lighting it up with pass yards. It's going to be unbelievable to see what he can do with the new weapons, Mixon and Stefon Diggs. So nuts what they're doing down there.
I saw a tweet. I forget who it was from, but it was the Antonio Brown walking off the field on the Bucs, and it was Stefon Diggs after Nico Collins gets the first target of the season. So, I mean, that's a pretty loaded wide receiver room, and Diggs might not get the targets he wants. So,
yeah. Dalton
He's
Schultz.
also, I mean, I don't want to say he's getting up there in age, but he is. You know, he's been around for a minute.
Yeah, he's 30.
He's
Yeah,
30, you know. Yeah, he's not the oldest receiver in the league by any stretch. He's still got a lot of good years left in him, believe that. He's definitely going to put up 1,000 yards this year with CJ Stroud as quarterback. You can guarantee that. But he is getting up there in age, so I can understand, you know. And dude, look, let's be honest. The more weapons you have, the better. We've seen it with the Bengals, Joe Burrow having Tyler Boyd as his number 3 option behind T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. I mean, we've seen how effective that has been just throughout the league. You know, Ayuk, Debo, Kittle's, you know, tight end, wide receiver. I mean, it's just a very effective strategy. Have as many weapons as you possibly freaking can. Why not? They gave up a second-round pick for it next year.
Definitely a good move. But Brian, why don't you get us into some winners and losers here?
Yeah, so my winner is actually you, Matt, along with everybody that bet on the UConn women and men to win the championship. So I'm mad at myself for not realizing this earlier, but I kind of did a deep dive into teams that have made both the women's and men's Final Four after we talked about it on the last podcast. So UConn has done it. This is their 5th time. 2 of those previous years were 2004 and 2014. As most of you know, it's the year 2024. How the hell did we miss that? How did I miss that? You made the right move picking UConn to win it all on the women's side.
Put an odds boost on them too, by the way.
Yeah, don't forget that part, bitch.
Yeah, but men's and women's teams have done it 16 total times, and 5 of those are UConn. So that's just pretty insane. My loser of the week, I'm going to go away from the sports world and go with Metro Boomin. So he had a little Twitter tirade this week. His phone was hacked. And not only hacked, but a guy like Metro Boomin, he's got a lot of contacts, specifically in the luxury clothing world. So this hacker went to like every one of his contacts, went to his Louis Vuitton contact, his Balenciaga contact, and sent him the address of his house, not Metro Boomin's house, the hacker's house. And was like, yeah, I'm on the road right now, but can you just put the stuff on my tab and send it to me? Got all the way to the point of them asking for the CVV, and Metro was locked out of the account. So he wasn't getting any of these texts. They only found out it wasn't him. The guy contacted the Balenciaga contact and asked for a Chanel purse. And the Balenciaga guy was like, yeah, we have like one Chanel purse. Why would you ask a Balenciaga guy for a Chanel purse? Metro's been going off on Twitter, just saying like, find this guy. And apparently, since he leaked the text and his address is on the text, so all of his fans are like, we ride at dawn, and they're doing the little maps of like how far it is to this guy's Houston house. It's just pretty insane.
Yeah, well, didn't he get blown up by like a bunch of like Canadian numbers?
Yeah, there's a conspiracy that Drake hired a hacker.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. I was wondering what was going on, but I guess that's exactly what it was. But yeah, you know, winners and losers. Try to keep it sports related, but Metro Boomin, too much of a headline to not talk about.
I mean, you know, LeBron is a big Metro Boomin guy, so it is sports related.
Yeah, LeBron was singing rapping Kendrick's verse before the game, and then he went out and dropped 40, which the hacker saw and retweeted the video of, because Metro did not have access to his phone during that.
Yeah, it's
at least he's doing some social media management while he's got him locked out of his accounts.
A little bit of a random one. Not sure how they'll do the rest of the year, but I'm going to give it to the Pittsburgh Pirates for starting out 5-0 for the first time in over 40 years. That seems pretty hard to do. Like, I understand you can be on a bad run, but they haven't started out 5-0 since 1983. That's 41 years ago. 5-0. It's like obviously hard to do in baseball, but like, shouldn't be a 40-year gap in between there, but they finally broke the streak and started the year 5-0. Not saying they're a playoff team, not saying they're going to be great, but hey, 5-0 for the first time in over 40 years. So good for them on that front.
A little cross-sport just craziness here. NC State, who we'll get to in a bit, first Final Four since 1983. So sometimes things just don't make sense, but they make sense.
It's just the year of 1983 and 2024. Yeah. Props to them for breaking the 40-plus year curse. finally start out 5-0. Watch him now going nuts losing streak. I think that'd be pretty funny. Loser of the week, obviously the big news over the weekend. Rashee Rice crashing, getting a car crash of his leased Lamborghini. Leases a Lamborghini, whatever. Goes out. I don't think it was a DUI situation. I don't think he was drinking, but he did get in a pretty serious car crash. I don't think anybody died, but he did cause a scene, and there was a pretty major car crash. He was missing for a little while. It did say the police were looking for him, and he was nowhere to be found. So eventually it came out today. So I guess for the last 2.5 days, he wasn't really responsive to police being like, dude, you caused a scene. You can't just go about your life. You have to own up to this and face the music, as they like to say. So he finally came out. Lawyer finally came out, said he's cooperating. Issued an apology to the public and everybody who was involved, kind of owned up to it, took responsibility, and now we'll see how this kind of transpires over the next couple of weeks. If it's just a reckless driving, nobody died, no drinking, DUI, drugs, whatever involved, could very well see this get swept under the rug within the next couple of weeks or couple months, however it plays out in the legal system.
Definitely months with the way our legal system works, but I'm surprised, dude. I really thought we had another Trey Mason on our hands. I thought that he was just going to go into hiding for the rest of his life, but smart move actually coming back. And it seems like you're right. It seems like this could get swept under the rug, pushed off kind of deal where he plays the whole season. And then we're talking about this again next summer or, next off season. So we'll see what happens, but Rashee Rice, man, just won a Super Bowl. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, he played at SMU. Maybe he still has some contacts down there in Texas, and he got a little first news that the Texans were trading for Stefon Diggs. Just running away from his problems and drove a little too fast.
In a leased Lamborghini. Is that how most of those guys usually do it? They lease them or they buy them outright?
With him, he probably made the financially responsible decision and leased it.
Where was he in Texas?
I think it was Dallas.
Yeah, I mean maybe he flew into Dallas for the week or the weekend and he rented a nice car. I would think that's probably what happened.
So he had some kind of lease on it.
Oh, wasn't rented.
No, it wasn't like a rental car. So hey, look, I guess that's the smarter way to go about it. But either way, completely crash the thing, and we'll see what happens. But it probably nothing will happen in terms of him getting in trouble.
He'll be fine. He'll just use the same lawyer that Mahomes' dad uses.
Probably seems to work out for him very well. That's the winners and losers of the week, as we do every week here at Views from Section 400. Make sure you check out all the other winners and losers, Michaels of the week in previous pods. We try to clip them up as best we can, but that's as best we can do with the editing we have at hand. I know sometimes it's a little choppy. I was just trying to get Brian riled up with the fucking editing dig, and I think I did. Sorry. That was out of pocket. I didn't mean that. Anyway, that's the winners and losers of the week. Moving on to the Final Four. It's what everybody cares about. It's the hottest thing this weekend. NC State on a run to glory. Alabama Crimson Tide ready to just make all the Auburn fans so sad. But we'll jump into the NC State-Purdue game. Obviously, Zach Edey does have the highest player point total out of all the games this weekend at 25.5, which is a huge number. I guess they think DJ Burns, even though weighs a lot, isn't as tall to cover Zach Edey. Let's just go around the horn real quick. Are you smashing his over on points? Because I don't know where to read that. I mean, that's a lot of points.
Taking the over.
Yeah, I'm taking the over. One, DJ Burns.
A lot of points.
And two, the other guy that might be guarding Edey, Muhammad Diarra, it's going to be 3:09 local time and still Ramadan. So he will be empty stomach, might be a little low energy.
Yeah, that's a great point.
These guys ball in Ramadan time.
Yeah.
Ramadan Kyrie is the top 5 player of all time.
Yeah, but the sun might go down. You can eat a little bit before the game.
Dude, I don't think anybody can stop Zach Edey in this game. As much as I love Big DJ Burns, I'm gonna come back to reality on him. And Zach Edey has just been that he's been that guy. He outdid Dalton Connect, which I didn't think was gonna happen, but he did, and I don't think that that's gonna stop now, not by any means.
It's just a line I would never ever touch is college players' points. But speaking of things that I would take, and that's game lines, we have NC State +9 or Purdue -9. I mean, do you guys think this is just a blowout, non-competitive Final Four game, and Purdue gets it done by double-digit points?
I think this one will be closer than the next one, but at 9 points, I could see it going either way. I kind of like NC State +9 to keep it close and play this competitively. I think I like Edie over on the points more than taking either one though.
Yeah, 9 is so weird because normally you look at like 7 is when they stop fouling. If it's like down 7 with 30 seconds left. I just don't know if it's gonna be close. I I do like NC State's team total. This total's not that high. It's 67.5. I think they get there. It's what, 30 points a half and then a little bit extra at the end. So that's my favorite bet. But last thing on Udi, he is the last back-to-back Naismith Player of the Year since Ralph Sampson did a three-peat from 1981 to 1983. The player that got the Player of the Year award after Ralph Sampson's reign ended, Michael Jordan. So maybe the next Naismith Player of the Year going to be one of the GOATs in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, Jack, -9 for Purdue or +9 on NC State? You seem a little conflicted.
Oh, I'm so conflicted, Matt. I am so conflicted. If you're gonna make me pick one, gun to my head right now, I'm taking Purdue. But
Yeah.
I don't want to touch that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm for both games, I'm taking the underdogs against the spread just because why would I want to see Purdue and UConn in a national title? I get it, they're the better teams, but it's March. I'm here for the underdogs, man. I do not need to see UConn obviously big Nova fan. Already don't like UConn to begin with. I don't like Dan Hurley, especially when he's doing interviews up 40 points saying his team's not playing championship basketball like a jerk off jackass. Yeah, so I love NC State. You could probably buy up some points, get it to like +11 and just hope for the best. You want to root for Purdue to blow them out or you want to root for NC State? And I want to root for NC State all day. So if I have to, I'll buy a couple points to get it to double digits. Come on. They've been on a roll all tournament. Just keep it within 10. Give me like +11. It's probably like -150. Just keep it within double digits. That's all I ask. Give us a good game. I hope NC State can do it, but Purdue has been a force, and it'll be tough to play. Brian, do you have an official thing you want to give out here? Obviously, I know you just said the team total, but I didn't know if you wanted to maybe take something actually on the line itself of the game.
No, I don't like the 9 number at all, so I'll go with the team total here. And both these teams are
buy it the other way or sell it the other way. I don't know how the betting terminology works, but take Purdue like -6.5.
I like 6.5 better. But
duh, you're getting less value. But.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it enough. I can't tell if it's too hard for me to tell if they keep it close or not. But that's why I lean the team total just because I think they'll get 68 points even if it's a blowout.
All right, so Brian on NC State team total. Jack, what was the official play?
Official, I'll take Edie over 25.5 points.
So Edie to have 26+ points, and I guess that's buy up a couple points and try and get NC State at like -150 or -160 at like +12 because I'm not rooting for Purdue. But speaking of rooting for 1 seeds, we jump over to UConn and Alabama. Obviously, you guys have to root for UConn here. Do you really want to do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys don't hate UConn like I hate UConn.
No. I like UConn.
No. I like UConn too. They play pretty basketball.
I'll be all over Alabama in this game. Whether I think it's going to happen or not, I don't care. Alabama's fun to watch, man. I mean, you guys can shit on it, but their offense is electric. Brian, I'm surprised you're not all over this team total.
Well, UConn's yet to give up over 61 points in the
58.
Have they played an offense like Alabama yet?
Well, no, but
No.
Alabama's offense also can go cold as ice.
They can.
And
Yeah, atmosphere though, man. It's the Final Four.
Look, in the 4 games in this tournament, they've given up 52, 52, 52, and 58 points. This team total says 74.5. I understand that Bama's got an awesome offense, but UConn hasn't let up 60 yet, let alone 75.
So you're hammering the under?
I like it. I don't know. Yeah, you know what I do? I will. Fuck yeah, I am. Yeah, hammer the under. Alabama team total under 74.5. Lock it in.
So is this game at the Suns Arena or are they playing at the Cardinals, stadium?
It's Cardinals.
That's what I figured. Huge
the football stadium.
Is that gonna be a great viewing experience if you're like way out?
No.
That's gonna be horrible, I feel like.
It'll be on the Jumbotron.
I want to say it's harder to shoot in the big gyms. So, I mean, that could help out UConn a little bit too, because Alabama relies so heavily on the three-pointer.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But other than that, again, I just don't want to root for UConn. They've been annoying to watch all year and this whole tournament. Every game they play in has been non-competitive and a waste of time to watch.
And that's why I think we're getting Purdue, UConn. These have been 2 unstoppable forces in the tournament.
And it's going to be the best product for Monday Night National Championship. Yeah. Regardless of the upsets and the Cinderella and the rooting for the underdog, the best product is Purdue, UConn. Everyone knows it. The NCAA knows it, and they'll be in the refs' ear making sure that that's the championship come Monday night, I think. Because everything's scripted for views and money nowadays. It's just what it is.
Yeah. I think this has got to be I forget who Florida played when they went back-to-back, but the biggest discrepancy of teams to make the Final Four, UConn last year, Bama never did it. Like, just that time frame.
Yeah. So what? What's Jack, under on the team total? Brian, do you have like an official play you're lobbing out here? I mean, dude, I can probably buy that up to Bama plus 15 or plus 16 and get it at like if I can get Bama like plus 16 at minus 170, I'll take it. Come on, dude. They gotta be able to keep it within 16 fucking points.
You'd think that, but UConn has won games by 28 points a game in this tournament.
Yeah, but they haven't played a team like Alabama yet.
It's all going to come down to how much faith you have in Alabama.
I don't have.
Sounds like you have some. So.
If you really want to talk about great offenses, Illinois was ranked number 1, and they scored 52.
Yeah, I think that was more they frauded than UConn played lights out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I think UConn might have had a little bit to do with them frauding.
Yeah, a little bit, of course, but I mean, I watched that game and they were missing open shots. Like, this wasn't because UConn was hands in their face. I think it was more they just weren't ready for that particular moment. And that's my opinion. You can disagree if you want, but that's just how I saw it.
I guess I'll just go UConn minus 12.
Imagine UConn wins by 14, so you hit and I hit.
One big happy family.
One big happy family. But, I mean, yeah, that's the Final Four right there. It's obviously a quick segment because there's only 2 games. But I think as a whole, collectively, not being delusional and just like as a, bystander, sports fan watching, we can all agree like UConn and Purdue will probably be the final on Monday. And speaking of the final on Monday, the special announcement we've been waiting for, YouTube live show before the game and during the game. Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're doing both. Is that correct? So before the game and during the game, YouTube live show. I guess we'll say it now. Purdue versus UConn is what we'll be watching. Check that out come Monday night. I know it's a Monday night and a work night, so you're not going to be going out getting hammered at the bar. Come hang out with us, watch the game, tag along, join in on the commercials and talk about the game. It'll be a fun time, fun experience as we crown a national champion in college basketball. And it puts a close on an awesome season and really a great time for views from Section 400. You see how passionate we were about college basketball all year. So it will be very sad to see it go, but we are probably in store for a awesome national championship if it is UConn and Purdue. But hopefully that's me jinxing it and we don't get that. But moving on. All right, NIT, go.
Well, the only thing I have on the NIT is that if there was one thing left to prove the committee wrong, it's the NIT championship is Seton Hall, who's won every game by double digits against Indiana State, who laughably got left out with a 28 net ranking. So everyone on that committee needs to be fired. Everybody needs to resign or be relieved of their duties because they did a terrible job, and that can be seen by Virginia. So that's all I have for you.
Yeah, Brian, I wanted to bring up this NIT championship solely to give you some flowers. Seton Hall and Indiana State were the two top teams that you said got left out. And here they are in the NIT championship after steamrolling everybody they played. It's a shame because these guys, especially Robbie Avila, look, two things. Indiana State, how are you going to leave Robbie Avila out? I mean, that man was cream. He was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Everybody wanted him in the actual tournament. That's a dang shame. And then Seton Hall, when will you learn to not count out the Jersey team when it comes to March Madness? There's always a Jersey team that makes a little bit of a run, and Seton Hall could have done that this year. It's just a damn shame, and you're right. The committee needs to be fired. Just reset it. Bring in Matt, bring in Brian, and let's just set this shit right.
Yeah, we had Seton Hall and Indiana State in our last four in, and consistently in our last four in, and they didn't get in. And oh, by the way, Indiana State in my legacy bet of the year, which I guess is technically second bet of the year, against Utah, a team we never had even close to sniffing the field, put up 100 on them and won by double digits.
Utah did put up 90, so.
Well, yeah, but Utah State got 100.
Yeah, I'm saying
Indiana State got 100.
I was very anti-Utah all year saying how they're fraud, so they did put up 90. I did not expect them to do that.
Who do you guys got in the NIT, and who do you guys got in the Final Four matchup?
NIT could care fucking less. That's my thing.
Okay. Brian, how about you?
As much as I love Robbie Avila and Indiana State, Dre Davis can shut down Robbie inside, and Kadary Richmond's the best player in that game. So Seton Hall.
Yeah, I'm going with Seton Hall and the Jersey boys.
Oh, 1 second, Brian. You're a fucking fraud if you're not going with Indiana State, dude. Are
Why?
you kidding me? This whole fucking thing. Legacy college basketball bet, this, that, and the third.
Yeah, one.
Seton Hall, fraud.
I didn't take a future on him.
Fraud.
I don't understand why that makes me a fraud. I told the people, and they won. And now I'm telling the people Seton Hall.
Stick to your guns.
I did, and they scored 100 points.
Turn your back on the Sycamores.
Because I'm not betting on a future. I'm betting on a game. I'm not betting on single games and then taking the team to go to the Final Four, even though they're playing their single games against nonsense teams. I have a little logic in my body.
You can say whatever you want. You know that's not right.
I know. That's a stupid point.
You know it's not right, man. You've been Indiana State all year, and you're going to fraud on them in the biggest game. In the biggest game.
The biggest game of their season.
Turn this back. This Indiana State truther turns his back.
They're a great team, and they've done well for me when I bet on them, but they're not going to beat Seton Hall.
I don't know, man. That doesn't sit right with me. That's not right.
I'm sorry.
Legacy bet of the year, this, that, and the third. Baby Jokic, this and that. Advocating for them to get in the tournament. Turns his back in the NIT championship. It's unreal. But whatever, man. You do you. That's not right though. That's sickening.
Sometimes the ones that you love the most, man.
Oh my
I've picked against Indiana State before. Like I don't. It's not like I've loved this team all year. I've said they're good all year. I haven't been a fan. I haven't. Wouldn't call myself a fan.
Yeah, I mean that's the NIT, and then what? Obviously, for the women's side, Caitlin Clark lights out. She's been lights out all year. I'm so torn because I do have the UConn women's future, which I obviously would love to have that hit. But Caitlin Clark's just unreal. So I guess I won't be that mad whoever wins. But I'm really kind of already sick of South Carolina. They're minus 200 to win it all, and I just really don't need to see them win it all.
Dude, South Carolina's good. They're so good, and they're gonna beat it.
Sick of them doesn't mean that they're not good.
They're gonna beat NC State. They're gonna be in this final, and whether it's UConn or Iowa that plays them, it's gonna be a hell of a game. South Carolina is beatable. They haven't been beat yet, but they are beatable. They've won on some miracles before, so. Whether I think, the one thing I want to shout out about this, though, is that if Iowa and Caitlin Clark can beat Paige Beckers and then go beat South Carolina, that'll be a pretty historic run as far as women's college basketball goes. Beating LSU, UConn, South Carolina, probably the three best teams in college basketball. I know UConn's a 3 seed, LSU was a 2 or a 3 seed as well. But they're the three best teams in college basketball outside of Iowa. So this is going to be some awesome women's basketball. It's on Friday. Tune in.
The LSU Iowa rematch was the highest rated game of all time for women's college basketball, and I don't think they broadcasted it on ABC.
I tuned in. I mean, I have the UConn future. If it makes money, it makes sense. Give me the UConn woman to get it done.
And who are they playing in the finals? Oh, you straight up to win it all?
Straight up to win it all. I mean, if it makes money, it makes sense. If they win it all, I win money. So give me UConn to win it all.
I'm not one to go against history. The UConn men and UConn women, and their dynasty is going to continue 2004, 2014, 2024.
Damn. Okay. I like UConn to beat Iowa. I think Caitlin Clark's run is going to come to an end, but I don't think UConn beats South Carolina. I think South Carolina completes the perfect season, takes home all the gold, all the trophies, all the bling.
Chalky McChalk.
Wait. He went South Carolina?
Bro, I gave you UConn to beat Caitlin Clark. Was that
There
not
you go.
enough?
I mean, yeah, Jack, you are a historic chalk guy.
When you go 4-0 in your last round of women's bets, you try to get them right the next time too. Let's start and finish the women's betting season 7-0. Case closed, book closed. What do you say?
No.
All right, let's get on to the NBA and let's keep it moving here.
Yeah, I guess we already talked about Embiid and the Sixers, but another team in the East, the Orlando Magic. Have you guys heard their TikTok song they got going?
No, but I know they're the 5 seed in the East, which out of nowhere.
Yeah, the TikTok song is all the good vibes, and I'll put it in here on the edit. But I mean, with a song like that, they're gonna win a first round game or first round series, I think.
I mean, they're the 5 seed. It wouldn't be surprising. They've been playing great basketball all year. They have to play probably the Knicks in the first round, and I don't know if they would beat the Knicks.
Yeah, Brunson's not gonna let that happen.
Not going to let that happen. I have the same thought process on that.
Listen to this song.
I thought we only get the Bryant songs on football season. It's
Yeah,
not
we have
a parlay.
Thought about pulling out an anti-Bama parlay, but I decided against it for this one. If they somehow beat UConn, I'm gonna have to for the
That is
next.
strictly the NFL show. That is copyrighted to the Views from Section 4. NFL show, anti-Birds parlay.
I guess my vocal cords do need a rest after football season.
It was weekly, man.
It was also just weak, but
Hey, they hit. And you did ad libs for one.
I did. I did do ad libs for one.
Last thing for the NBA, we've been talking about the Warriors and how teams should be scared of them if they ever get in. They only have a 3-game lead over the Houston Rockets right now. So I don't.
Dude, the Jalen Green, ever since that pregnancy, boy,
He's playing with that dad strength.
yeah, he is. He's playing like he got to feed a family, bro.
Damn right.
Yeah, that's really all I have on the NBA. It's not that entertaining
Yeah, I
right
mean,
now.
isn't the Rockets are about to jump the Warriors and Draymond Green was like, I don't give a fuck about the Rockets.
Yeah, well, ever since he said that, they put some space in between them. So I guess he wasn't wrong.
I guess he wasn't wrong, but yeah, I mean, it's really like at this point, cruise control. I'm fully locked into being delusional about the Sixers. I'm so ready for it. Give me the playoffs. Give me Embiid in the playoffs. Go change the narrative. You got a chance to do a job, Embiid. Go change the narrative. Go be great. Go do what you're here to do, and that's be great. That's all I got on the NBA.
I'll just give a little update on the Thunder future. Still looking good. Top of the conference. Shea's out right now. They're I wouldn't call them reeling just yet, but dropped the game to Philadelphia last night, and they're down 20 points right now to the Celtics. So it's not great. I don't love the status that they're in towards the end of the season, but get Shea back and healthy, and we'll be good, right?
Yeah, he's
Right,
the
Brian?
MVP. He's the MVP.
Right.
If you
Okay.
lose him, then you're gonna drop some games. They'll be fine.
Is he the MVP this year? I don't know. Is he?
Yeah.
You think so?
Maybe.
Not Anthony Edwards?
No.
Is he close?
No.
Who's the close second? Giannis?
Jokic.
Jokic.
Tatum's 3.
Yeah, I don't
Tatum's 3.
I don't think
Yep.
Tatum at all. I would take Giannis over Tatum.
I mean, number 1 seed out in the East. I guess that can make sense.
Wrap it up, give it a SGA, and let's move on to the MLB.
The Oakland A's are actually saving the New York Mets right now because they are the biggest laughingstock in the league. So John Fisher, we know about his ownership problems. There's a bar called the Last Dive Bar in Oakland that's been giving out like bracelets to players and fans just as like a boycotting, fuck the team, all this nonsense. They gave it to Estoy Ruiz and their all-star, their lone all-star last year, Brent Roker. A day after they both wear those wristbands, Ruiz gets sent down to AAA, hitting .350 by the way, and Brent Roker, an all-star last year, gets benched. What the fuck are we doing in Oakland?
They're sabotaging the rebuild in the tank.
It's not even like they say like sell the team or anything. All it says is Last Dive Bar, but the bar is known for like sell the team merchandise. So the Fisher just made a call and was like, "Yeah, these guys got to get out of here." That's so bad.
On my commute home from the subway, these guys were talking about that and I was like, you know what? That makes so much sense. And that's what they did. They got him out of there.
The two best players. So ridiculous. Like, I mean, I guess, yeah, I'll keep it another bad thing about the MLB and keep it on the merchandise front. I know I've talked about these jerseys and I've just kind of beat that horse into the ground, but it's getting really bad now. The Yankees went out there and their pants were a different color than their top. Like they had a light gray top and like a dark gray pant. This is a professional sports league. And you're going out there dressed as like a kid that forgot his pants in 5th grade CYO.
Well, the MLB uniforms were your loser a couple weeks ago, weren't they? I mean, it's just we're gonna see this all year of just uniform defects and malfunctions all year.
It's like bad. I mean, the names are atrocious. Just the difference in the quality, but like that, the quality, at least that's different. Like you're getting colors wrong.
Look at the other one. St. Louis Cardinals, their baby blue road uniforms aren't even in stock. How is a jersey not in stock for the team that wears the jersey?
So bad. I don't understand.
How does that make sense?
And I don't understand how they haven't come out with like a press release about these things. Like the MLB hasn't said anything.
It's crickets.
It's like total incompetence. And I'll just keep it going. Speaking of total incompetence, Teams in the Northeast, build a damn roof. There's been so many freaking rainouts. If you're going to start the season this early, either you need to play on the West Coast or in the South, or you need to build roofs. Because the Mets have been rained out twice now. The Phillies played in a monsoon the other day, and now they started an hour late.
And the game tonight, as we're recording, was supposed to start at 4:00, and it didn't start until like 15 minutes ago. So that was like a 4-hour rain delay.
The Orioles game was supposed to start at 1. I think it started at 5 o'clock today. Like,
Yeah. There's some nuts rain delays.
and they're opening the gates. Like, the Mets had the gates open for 4 hours the other night just so people could buy the new rainbow egg rolls and like spend money. And then you're gonna postpone the game. The MLB, it's been 2 weeks and I'm already pissed off at the whole league.
I don't know what you want them to do about the weather other than build a roof. I understand that. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter where you are. People are getting rain. Like, they're getting snow in Chicago, potentially. That's what's delaying the Braves-White Sox game tonight. Dude, it's the weather. It's Mother Nature. What are you going to do?
Start the season in mid-April after March Madness ends, and you're going to play doubleheaders already because you're starting it when it's raining. So have built-in doubleheaders, or play less games because 162 is way too damn many. Seems like two pretty simple solutions to me if you don't want to build a roof.
Yeah. I know from a fan's perspective, it sounds good and all, but you know, what you want owners to cut out games,
Dude,
less money in their pocket.
Play scheduled doubleheaders. You're already playing them because of the rain. It's the same thing, except you can actually prepare for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my last thing, the Anaheim Angels, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, whatever you want to call them, they're in first place, and they're hitting 201 as a team. They got rid of Ohtani. Their pitchers have the second worst ERA in the league, and their leadoff man is 0 for 20. And I know it's early, but I just thought that was funny. They're in first place in the division with the reigning World Series champions in the Houston Astros.
I'm pretty out on the Angels, but I mean, does Mike Trout have a superstar Thanos-esque year in him?
He's hitting homers.
He's going to have to like do it all and literally be a one-man show and carry the team because Anthony Rendon doesn't have a hit yet this year.
Yeah, you could have
Man.
you could have conceived a child and had that child been born in the same amount of time as Anthony Rendon has gone without a hit. It's been 9 months.
You know, he doesn't care about baseball. He won his ring. He got his money. He just wants to fight with reporters and be as big of a dickhead as he possibly can.
Yep.
I think that's a fair statement.
I think that pretty much sums up baseball.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, let's get to warmer weather, hey? Mother Nature, let's get us out of 40-degree and 25-mile-an-hour wind gust baseball games. That'd be awesome. Sincerely,
Yeah.
East.
You know, I do have one more thing. Ronald Acuna through 5 games, 0 home runs. I think it might be worth.
He played 3 games here in Philly, which was ice cold. And then, did you see the clip that came out? He was like in a fucking like ski mask.
I did not see that.
It was like snowing in Chicago.
I was going to say it might be time to start sprinkling on him to start hitting some home runs until he does, because you know he's the kind of guy that will. I wonder if that's at some nice value at this point, 0 through 5. I mean, it's only going to go up, right? This is how that works.
You get next warm weather game, hammer his home run.
Well, have they played in Atlanta yet? Just wait till they go back to Atlanta.
No, they haven't played in Atlanta yet. I'm telling you, they started in Philly, which it wasn't that nice. And then they went to Chicago, where it literally was like snowing the other day. That's where that clip came out. And he was like, I can't play baseball like this. And he was like freezing in the on-deck circle.
They're not even playing the Cubs.
They're going to Arizona on Friday. So
there you go.
There you go. That's the time to hammer them. All I want to say on the NFL is, as an Eagles fan, hate seeing Hasson Reddick go to the Jets. Obviously, he's aging, but And we did a nice swap. We got, Bryce Huff, who was very solid for them last year, and he's also only 25, and Reddick's a lot older than that, but definitely sucks seeing him go. So I still don't know how I feel about the move. At least they got a reliable replacement would be the best way to put it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets defense is going to be good, but that's never been their issue.
I still think they need to make some bolsters to the offensive line and potentially add another weapon for Aaron Rodgers. But I think the Jets should be a dang good team next year, as long as Rodgers can stay healthy. That is.
Yeah, if Rodgers is healthy, they should be fine.
Well, allegedly he was healthy halfway into last season, and he just didn't play because they sucked. So he should be healthy.
That was bullshit, dude. If he ran out there on that Achilles, that thing would have snapped again in 2 seconds.
Probably.
You can't play that quickly. I don't care who you are or what you say. He's not 40-year-old's not running out there in the NFL on that kind of injury that quickly.
Very last thing I had on the NFL. After my rant about roofing and upgrading stadiums, I guess this is kind of why that's not happening. So the Kansas City Royals tried to build a new stadium, as well as the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to upgrade Arrowhead. And I don't know why that hasn't been upgraded, even though they've brought in a shit ton of money since Mahomes has been their best team in the league. But the proposal for that got voted down by the citizens of Kansas City. So
Wow.
I guess that's why we're not seeing the stadiums get upgraded. But you would think a sports town allegedly as great as Kansas City would be all in.
Well, maybe they said we need to raise taxes to do this.
Wait, if they're a great sports city.
They're not doing the Royals and they're not doing the Chiefs for the stadium.
Bad sports town.
The fans voted against it. Blame it on the fans.
It's from bad sports town. If they want to be called a good sports town, then they can't be doing this.
Well, to be fair, it was like a pretty nuts tax hike that they were going to have to pay for. But yeah, but nonetheless, bad sports town.
Bad sports town, Kansas City. I don't want to hear anything.
Had a chance to do it, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, fuck, you got to pay extra taxes for a stadium. For 2 stadiums, but hey, bad sports town.
Bad sports town.
It's pretty nuts. NFL draft live show. Well, not really a live show, but draft miss? Is that a way to call the Views from Section 400 draft special? We're going to be getting a lot of guests on. We're going to be getting a lot of interaction with people because, right, I'm Eagles, Jacks, Jaguars, and Brian's the hapless Giants. We'll be getting on a lot more people who are involved with teams they actually care about, maybe some Cowboy fans, which Brian and I will not be happy to have on. Maybe if we can wheel and deal some rivals of the Jaguars, maybe get a Chiefs fan on would be pretty nuts. Stay tuned. We have an ex-NFL player interview lined up for the month of April, probably around draft time. So stay tuned for who that is, and we'll get him on to hear his story and his journey in the NFL and through the NFL. So big news on that front coming very, very soon. Excited for that. But yeah, the NFL draft will be a huge special. If you were around for what we did when we did Bowl Miss, it'll probably be something like that, along the lines of that. But definitely going to release a lot more information on that as we get closer to it, which is in the end of April, so rapidly approaching.
Yeah, I know a lot of you, honestly, probably all of you that are listening this deep into the podcast have been clamoring to get on. This will probably be your chance to do it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fans on. And yeah, draft's coming up.
Yeah, because we have winner of our March Madness group will get their 5-minute segment, and then NFL draft, we're going to have a lot of people on. So that'll be your, like Brian said, your next best bet to get on for a segment and get it jacked up. But yeah, Views from Section 400, that's the show. Appreciate everybody joining along. As always, uninterrupted sports conversations, what we do around here. I'm Matt, Jack, and Brian, always along for the ride. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!
Shout out Washington Capitals, minus 35 goal differential in a playoff spot. Would be the first time since 92.
UConn by 20.
Totally ridiculous.